Game 3 goes to the Milwaukee Bucks, 120-100. Suns still up 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Jim Lazarski of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel and Dwayne Rankin of the Arizona Republic joining us. And Jim, the big three for the Bucks score 80 points. That's a big change for this team in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, and it was necessary. I mean, as the Bucks go, it's not just Giannis. It is Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, and those two just could not get shots to go down in 2 games. And also, I think the ball movement was better in Game 3 to help maybe get those guys some better, as they call it, better looks. So yes, Giannis is now in rarefied air in terms of 2 straight 40-point, 10-plus rebound performances, but they don't want Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday to play like the big-time players they're paid to be, and that they have been up to this point. So, yes, to win Game 3, sort of a must-win scenario for the Bucks. Having all 3 players perform like that definitely has been thinking they can even this thing up in Game 4.
And Dwayne, a different Suns team tonight than we've seen so far, really, in the playoffs in this game. What's your takeaway from this Game 3 performance?
I mean, you can't have Devin Booker scoring 10 points. They're just not going to win. You're not going to have sustainable success in this series if he's just scoring 10 points, 3 or 14 shooting. I said it before after Game 2, with Sarge out, that just takes a body out of there. He can't guard Giannis either, but he could give up 6 fouls that would get Ayton out of the foul situation. So Ayton with 5 fouls, now you're talking about the lone guy that can really, man up with him and make him do extra. I think what Giannis did was he took an extra dribble to get closer to the basket as opposed to fading away like he did even at some parts of this game. So when I'm looking at the Suns' perspective, you got, didn't have an answer for Giannis in Game 2, didn't have an answer for Giannis in Game 3, but had an answer for everybody else. Because you can't let Drew Holiday do what he did. He had 5 threes, came in hitting just 1 out of 7, I think, in Games 1 and 2. So they didn't defend the way that other guys like they had. They didn't shoot the 3 like they did in Game 2. And then on top of that, Coach Williams said, hey, knew what was coming. They knew that the Bucks was going to come with the force because, they were down, 0-2.
Dwayne brings up a great point. Can the other players for the Bucks beyond Giannis continue to do what they did in Game 2? What do you see Game 4? How does that play out with the Middleton and the Holiday? Can they keep up this pace that they were shooting at?
Yeah, they can, and because they've done it all year long. I think that the difference for the Bucks to a degree is, 11 points from Bobby Portis and 8 rebounds. Pat Connaughton, his 8 points may not jump out at you, but look, getting that off the bench is something that the Bucks just haven't had when they lose games in this playoff, to be quite honest. I mean, they're basically 7 deep, or if you want to call it 7.5, depending if it's Bryn Forbes or Jeff Teague that other night getting a little bit of burn. Tonight was Jeff Teague. They need that. PJ Tucker, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. Again, it's not burning up the box score, but when they lose, those numbers are even more depressed. In games like this, when you're playing a deeper team like the Suns, I'd argue probably a better overall team at this point in terms of just all of the parts they have together. It's the other guys. The big 3 for the Bucks, I think, can do it. It's just usually when they lose, the opponent kind of puts the clamps on all the other guys, to be honest.
And Dwayne, what's the concern? Is there any concern with regards to Devin Booker and going into Game 4? I mean, he played 29 minutes. I mean, what are your thoughts as you look at him going into Game 4?
Nah, I mean, look, this guy, I expect him to be fully locked and loaded to keep shooting in Game 4. Now he's had a couple of back-to-back games where he didn't score. That's the level he's reached. If he don't score 30, then it's a bad game. Now, granted, 10 is not. That's his career playoff low. So he'll play better. And he's talked about obviously them getting ready for Wednesday. But again, he can play better but you still have an issue with A, Giannis, and B, DeAndre Ayton. If you think the Bucks went at him in game 3, they're going to go at him even more in game 4 because they know that if they get him out of there, that puts the pressure on. You got Cam Johnson, Torrey Craig, Jay Crowder has played him well at times and moments and for stretches, but that you just don't want that. And so Devin, I see a better game coming from Devin.
Jim, what do you think about game 4? How does it pan out in your mind? And as you've seen this team, the Bucks team all year long, what do you expect and maybe predict for game 4?
Essentially, I think it'll be the in-between of what we saw from the first 3 games. Look, the Bucks were within a couple possessions at key moments in games 1 and 2. They didn't make the plays the Suns did, and they were able to kind of stretch it to double digits. The Suns made their run thanks to Cam Johnson in the third quarter, and they just didn't have enough in game 3. I think game 4 is going to be the full game. I think that's the one where it's going to be, we're both right in a game around the deadline as it goes to the final play. I do think the Bucks win. I do think home court does matter in these current games. I think Giannis clearly has found his physical groove, has found his sort of dominant streak. Devin Booker's not shooting like that. DeAndre Ayton's not going to have 5 fouls early. But I also think Chris Middleton, Jrue Holiday aren't going to revert to the shooting they had in games 1 and 2. So I think all of that coming together means a very close game 4 that we'll be talking about, a key play here or there. I do think the Bucks even it up and becomes the best 2 out of 3. And we may see the 7-game series I think a lot of us thought we might have at the start of this.
Dwayne, what do you think? What do you see for game 4? Jim brings up some great points.
He does, no question about it. I think the Suns have been the best road team all year for a reason, and I can easily see them pulling this out in one of those final possession, final shot, final, where it's tight here and fans on the edge of their seats, and then Chris Paul or Devin Booker hits one of these crazy shots to win the game. I can see that. But the one thing that I will say as far as determining the outcome, if it's a tight game, Suns win. But I see the Bucks, if the Bucks win, it's going to be, I think, somewhat closer to what we saw tonight, where they just come out the gate, on fire and just sustain that. Monty Williams talked about how the Suns didn't sustain. Listen, this is the loudest crowd the Suns have faced on the road. And so there's some adjustment to that. Now, they got some days to get ready or whatever. Now, the one thing the Suns have in their favor, I feel, is they're going to hear for 2 days how Milwaukee just ran through them, how Giannis, they couldn't stop him, how Chris Middleton's back, Jrue Holiday's back. What's wrong with Devin Booker? Ayton, he's got foul problems. Chris Paul, see, we're back, the Scott Foster and all that. They're going to hear that for 2 days. I'm very curious to see how they respond out the gate. I think Milwaukee will come out rolling. And if the Suns can match that early, I think we'll see a down the wire game and Suns will win it at the end.
Well, it's going to be exciting either way. The Suns are up 2-1 in the NBA Finals. Game 4 Wednesday night. All your coverage with Jim Ozarski of the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel and Dwayne Rankin of the Arizona Republic. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.